I think I just realized what the worst days are for an entrepreneur, business owner. It's those days that I'm having now. It's the days that I spend most of my time, if not all my time, putting out fires. Not growing the business, not promoting, not posting on social media and seeing the attention that we're getting, because those are the fun part of an entrepreneur, of owning a business. But the not so fun part is the time that you don't feel like you're growing at that particular day. Stay with the introduction. I'll give you a heads up of what to do when you're going through those bad days.
Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Mezalira.
Entrepreneur business owners, this podcast is for you. And if you are an entrepreneur for a while, I'm sure you've gone through those days, maybe 3, 4 consecutive days, 5, or maybe a whole entire month that you just spend all that time putting out fires one after the other, and fires that you actually have to put out. You can't just ignore. For the business to be alive, you actually have to put those fires out. That is maybe you're short-staffed on the business with employees, or problems with clients, problem with the trainers in your business, problem with systems that you have to get through in order for you to continue to grow the business, or overall just solving small, tiny little problems here and there that never ends. And day after day, you're going through that. It seems like it's never gonna end. But here's what you do: it will end. If you're an entrepreneur, you've gone through that many times. What happened before? It lasted for a while, and it ended. Eventually it went away, and you're all happy again growing the business and focused on the things that bring you fulfillment and satisfaction. But it's not always like that. Business is a roller coaster. And if you're going through this moment, I would actually recommend this book, The Entrepreneur, can't spell the word quite right, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. It's a great book. And you read that book and you're going to realize that it is normal for this to happen. It is normal that some days in business, you're going to have days that you're just putting out fires and you're barely eating that day. You're barely doing the things that you promise yourself that you're going to be doing, the things that you have to be doing. Maybe with that, the stuff that defines your discipline in business, those are personal, maybe working out. And there are days that you have no time because it's one fire after the other that you just have to put out right then and there at that particular time. And your head is exploding. You want to get out of the situation as soon as you can, but sometimes it's not only dependent upon you to get out of the situation. You just have to continue, and you're like, when is this going to end? But it does end. So just think on the bright side. Do one step after the other. If you're going through this, continue to put out the fires, but also schedule your day. It's very important for you to write down the tasks that you have to do the next day. Write it the day before, so that when the next day comes and there are more fires that's going to be showing up, okay, during this time in the morning from 9 to 10 a.m., I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to do management. From 11 to 12, I'm going to do social media posts. And from 1 to 2 p.m., you're going to do hiring. And from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., you're going to do extra things that show up while you're doing the things in the morning. So sometimes you have tasks to do in the morning, and a lot of small things happen that you have to solve then and there. If they're not that urgent, reserve those small tasks that shows up for you to do throughout the morning. Reserve a time in the afternoon and write on your calendar extra to-dos. Leave that area blank, because during the day, you're going to fill that out and you're going to reserve that. So that way, you're doing the things to grow your business. You're delegating and separating your time and not only focus on putting the fires out. I try to do that. I try to do it myself. There are some days that I actually separate the time on my calendar that, okay, from 2 to 3, the area on my calendar is blank because I know it's going to be fulfilled. with the extra little things that shows up during the morning while I'm doing the other important stuff. But again, there are some times that I just, it's close to 2. It's close to that time that I have the extra stuff to do. And so many extra things, fires, arose that I cannot even get to my other important stuff. All I think about is I try to follow up on the schedule as good as I can. Unless the fire is too urgent. If it is too urgent and it's happening consistently, just think that it is going to get better at the end of the day if you cannot really focus on the other thing. And put in your reminders. However, if you're putting out fires one after the other and you're leaving the other important things that you normally do on a daily basis for your business aside because you're more focused on the important stuff, don't ever miss writing them down. New fires that arise or the tasks. So if, let's say, you program to send an email to somebody, a thank you letter, whatever task it is, and because you're putting so many fires out, you end up forgetting about that and you don't do it. So at that time that you think to yourself, hey, I have to do this, some other day because these fires are more important, write it down. Write on your phone reminders, whatever you keep your to-do list track, and leave it there, because within a few days, maybe a few weeks, the fire, it's going to cool down. The fire is going to cool down. You're going to have worked through all that fire. And then you're like, okay, I have this list that I can get to it now. And it's okay. Maybe you'll delay it a little bit. So that's it. That's a quick tip that I have, guys. Don't feel super stressed out on moments like that. If you're going through moments like that and you just ignore the fire and continue on with your life and not paying much attention, that's the only time you should be worried about. If you go out on trips on days like that, then the fire is going to come out, much stronger. Sometimes you may not even be able to get through that. And that's how business is. Business is a roller coaster. If you guys are a startup or start thinking about getting into business, know that it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I know multi-millionaires with multi-million-dollar businesses. I know guys that own $1 billion business, and they always are afraid of everything going down and losing everything, because sometimes you can get a fire so high that you're like, oh, is this actually gonna last? Guys, it's a normal feeling. It's normal to feel that way. I'm a small business and I feel this way, and I think sometimes I was like, is it wrong? Is it wrong for me to sometimes be afraid and seeing how vulnerable the business is? Because our business is so vulnerable. And then I listen to those big guys that has $1 billion business, and they tell me, hey, sometimes they are afraid to go to work thinking that everything's going to go down to the trenches and everything's going to be lost like in a heartbeat. And when they say that, they're probably going through these moments of only putting fires out and never going away. Guys, that's normal. That happens. It happens to those huge businesses, and it will happen to you. And as the more you grow, obviously, the more secure you will be. But there's still gonna be. That's still gonna be happening. That's life. That's life of an entrepreneur. A lot of people are not capable of having this type of lifestyle, of a roller coaster lifestyle, because this is what entrepreneurship is. But if you're into entrepreneurship, you're already through the lifestyle, you enjoy it, and you're worried about it, just know that it's normal to be worried. And if you think this way, if you think that other business owners, they go through this, then maybe you're not going to be as worried as you are. You're going to be, just think everything's going to be all right as long as you work to it. Everything's going to be all right. But as long as you don't go away, you run away from problems when problems arise. If you go take a trip, during a problematic time, your business is, I don't see how a business can survive people who spend a lot of time off, especially when fires are up. So that's my tip of today, guys. It's Wednesday, late podcast today, and every Wednesday coming out with business and auto detailing podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for next. Subscribe, leave a review if you enjoyed this little tip of mine, and see you next time.